Mercury is a naturally occurring element that is found in the air, water, and soil. The chemical element is most known as a silvery white metal, but exists in various forms. Although exposure to mercury can cause serious health problems, it is found in everyday products and objects. Because it is released into the environment, there is always a risk of exposure. Right now, Belize is undertaking an initiative called the Minamata Initial Assessment Inception Project to find out what the mercury levels are in country. That report will be submitted, and depending on the findings, Belize could sign on to the Minamata Convention on Mercury. It is a global treaty to protect human health and the environment from the effects of mercury.
It's something that is very important for Belize, I believe, because Belize is a developing country. We don't have anything in place or any strategy in place to say, okay, this is how we'll deal with mercury once it's there as a waste. So they have a lot of industrial processes that emit mercury. The Minamata Convention is to see how we could implement strategies of how to manage mercury in a country, for example. So in Belize, we need to develop strategies of, first we need to find out how many mercury or how much mercury or the level of mercury in Belize, and from there find out strategies of how to manage mercury, for example, when it's as waste.
While mercury can threaten human life, it is widely used across industries. The three main ways people are exposed to mercury are through the burning of coal and other fossil fuels, small-scale gold mining where miners use mercury to separate the gold from rock and sediments, and through the consumption of contaminated fish and shellfish, Manzanilla explains.
A lot of people don't know the effects of mercury, and it's very hazardous, especially to women and young children or fetuses, for example, because it affects the child or an adult, for example, neurologically, and even when it comes to motor skills. Mercury occurs naturally, and we also cause mercury to be in the environment, for example, when we use cosmetics, when we combust fuel, for example, or, for example, in gold mining as well, they use mercury. So that's where the imbalance of mercury occurs. The actual mining for fuel, for example, so the petrol industry. We have the dentists that use the amalgam, for example. We have at the medical institutions, we have thermometers and barometers and stuff like that that does use mercury for their equipment. Then small fishes would ingest the methyl mercury from planktons, for example. Then going up the food chain, you'll see that the predators, if say for example you have small fish, they might eat some planktons. A bigger fish might eat 10 of those little small fish. So that's what we call bioaccumulation and biomagnification. So by the time you eat a big fish, the level of mercury is very high. So when we ingest that, it has a negative effect to our neurological system.
Today, more than 15 participants are attending a workshop to learn more about this assessment and how it factors into the work that they do. Manzanilla says the groundwork started back in December, and after this inception event, he will be doing an inventory.
Then my job will be to go to different industries, to different institutions, governmental and non-governmental, to find out what apparatus, for example, they have that use mercury, what happens to those apparatus when it's not useful anymore. So what's the disposal strategy or the disposal plan?
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.